Hey, what's up? Tim Sykes here. Wanted to do a quick video just on all the craziness that we're seeing. ATNF is a great example. I'm filming this on a Wednesday, posted pre-market Thursday, but this thing went from the ones all the way up to nearly 19. Okay. This is 8 in the morning. This is 9:15 in the morning. Really, pre-market was the best time. And this is what I'm saying. I hope that you watched the video lesson that I posted on Wednesday morning, this morning, as I film this. And it's a 45-minute video, lessons on so many supernovas. And some people are like, Tim, you got a lot of lessons, but not a lot of profits. And like I said in the video, I actually lost $1,000 on DRUG. I actually lost on INVO. Didn't matter that DRUG spiked 20 times from my buy in less than 24 hours, 3 buys. Didn't matter that INVO spiked 60%. I missed them both. I missed STEC, and then I did decently on VS. But, long story short, not too much. Wolf was my first dedicated morning panic dip buy, and I did well on that. VS, I made $1,000, so I was happy with that. But really today, as I filmed this, did really well on CRV, which, was an attempted morning spiker. They actually had good news with Uber Eats. So in a normal market, this should be rewarded. But in this market, shorts just aren't getting squeezed on real news. They're getting squeezed on fluff. And this was, I think, probably my biggest profit in quite a while, making $2 a share on ATNF like that. It was just a few minutes pre-market. Some people were scared to buy it. I know Stocks to Trade alerted it. It was on the scans at $3 a share. Stocks to Trade breaking news, I believe, alerted it at $5 a share. I was buying it because it fit what I like. You're looking for the next DRUG. Obviously, drug has tanked a lot today off the highs, but I think it's just because all the shorts got blown out already. This is what we've been seeing with a lot of short squeezes. They're just not good dip buys. You can eke out some small gains, like if you get a true panic, but they're just not bouncing that much because all the shorts are getting squeezed on the way up. They don't have that big of a bankroll to really get squeezed anymore. All the weak-handed shorts got squeezed here from, this thing was in the ones and it went up to 60. Insane in a day. So ATNF was showing the exact same kind of upside potential, and I was buying it right in here. And, again, I'll link this video from Wednesday. Please watch it. It's crazy to me how you guys just want plays, but you don't actually want to understand why I'm trading them, when I'm trading them. If I could sum up the whole thesis of this 45-minute video, it's to watch early percent gainers, especially those with low floats and big volume and catalysts of any kind. The more laughable, the better to squeeze shorts or to lure in shorts and then squeeze them later. But you're watching them near their highs and you're seeing, can it break their highs? So I got a lot of questions. People asking me, why am I buying this in the sevens? First of all, I'm getting less than 2,000 shares. I got a partial fill. I actually wanted 3,000 shares. But second of all, it was right here. It had already spiked again from the ones to, the fours. Nice breakout here. I didn't catch it here at $4 a share. It could have bought the breakout here, 4 to 8. That would have been nice if anybody caught that. I saw a few students did. Congrats. But then it was basing near the highs. And from 8:35 until 8:50, 15 minutes, it's basing near the highs. Yes, it had an attempted breakout here at 8:45. But even when it came down, it was still a higher low. You need to zoom in on this and you need to see when a stock is holding near its highs. So even though it failed here at $8, and some people were like, oh, double top, right here, the low was 620 and here the low is 660 and it's coiling. Okay. This is picture a spring and it's coiling. So when I'm buying it in the sevens, it has a nice base here in the high sixes, 1,800 shares. Worst case scenario, if it somehow fails, I get out at 680. Maybe 690, and I lose $600-700. But if it breaks $8 a share, or even if it tops at $8, there's so many different things with buying it here because it already topped at 8, and you can't say, oh, it's definitely going to break 8. But if it tops at 8 and I'm out at 790, I still make 70 cents a share. Okay. So even if it tops out at 8, this is still going to be what? 80 cents a share on $1,800, or 1,800 shares would be like $1,500. So I'm either going to lose 700 if for some reason it doesn't keep going. I'll make 1,500 if it like triple tops at 8, or best case scenario, which is how it played out, breaks 8 and goes straight to 9. And then some people will say, Tim, why not hold it longer? You're not going to see me hold longer than $2 a share. Okay. If you've been watching my stuff long enough, $2 a share is damn good for me. 3,000 plus in a few minutes is damn good. Again, I'm not expecting it to go to 18. Not every play is going to be the next DRUG, but I am pleasantly surprised that my plan worked out quite nicely, and pre-market is hot. You wonder why I'm unhealthy? You wonder why I'm pushing it to the max? Because I'm looking at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m. spikers. Okay? Pre-market. And then after I do this video, I'm filming this video before the market closes. I'm going to be focused on some other plays after hours. It doesn't stop in this hot market. And in fact, I actually just tweeted some rules here. Well, first, I just want to give props to a few students. Did I give the students props here? I can't even keep track. ATNF just kept going, by the way, and congrats. And I'm like tweeting it, and I'm like, it's already gone from 7 to 11, then it's gone from 7 to 14. I love this. Michael says ATNF has been my biggest trade of the month, locking in profits and calling it a day. Beautiful. Great job. Stocks to trade breaking news, alerted it 278. Pablo also made money on VS. I'll go over VS in a second. I also am here in Zimbabwe, and I'm shooting guns with these guys who protect wildlife.
I hear you.
Okay, so lift it up on your shoulder and aim on it. Okay.
So I put it here?
Yes. You put it in the meat of your shoulder. Tell him when you're ready. Keep your finger away from the trigger. Put this finger up on the side.
Yes, on the side.
Which
Put it
finger?
on the side, your trigger finger. Okay, it's on, keep it on the side. You're in a good place there.
Okay.
You feeling good about it?
I don't know. It's in my shoulder. Is it going to
Confidence, baby. Come on now.
Recoil, man.
Confidence.
Okay.
Okay, you're on fire.
Okay.
So now put your finger slowly to the trigger. Slowly squeeze it. Hold it in the middle of the red.
Holy shit!
Close. Okay, give it.
And we're going to make a donation because these guys are local community heroes, and it's pretty awesome to see what they're doing. And, I'm not a big fan of guns. That's more like Tim Bowen. But, if these wildlife protectors, instead of like killers like Tim Bowen, are offering me to shoot, I'm going to try it. And you see, I almost hit the target, right? There it is. I feel like I hit it, but maybe I didn't. But I'm working on my shooting, and shooting is actually very similar to trading. I got to work on my sharp shooting. But I got a lot of blog posts, video lessons on, just so much. But I want to draw your attention to these 3 tweets that I just posted. I said, don't waste precious days when there are so many plays to learn from. Even if you miss a play, or you're too early, or you're too late, you learn so much, and the experience will serve you well. And I say, people want to know why some traders seem to have, quote, it, and continually crush it. It is experience and lessons adding up over time. So veteran traders are just better prepared on every trade. You can still catch up by being there in real time and, studying DVDs, video lessons, webinars, but you really got to get the experience. And this is the most important tweet I say. So the question isn't how much you can make as fast as possible. It's how much can you learn over time, and then are you able to utilize this stuff, right? Like, you're using the lessons, and the lessons are a foundation for you. That's how you have to look at this, okay? You need to understand that it's about recognizing the upside, seeing the recognition, and then putting it together and being like, oh, I remember, So if you saw a DRUG spike and then you saw ATNF spike, guess what? That's really good. We also saw VERB. We also saw STEC. I mean, there's so many plays right now, and it all comes down to preparation. So don't feel bad if you miss it. This is really the only play that I nailed all week so far. I do have a crazy schedule, and I don't mind missing plays. But, really nice wins on ATNF. And then I had another win on ATNF where I dip bought it in the 15s. And, I thought that it could bounce, and it did. And then I just got out because, it was just too rich for my blood. And I said, even in the 17s, this is just getting crazy. I can't keep chasing it. But these are good trades, and so I was up really nicely like 5 grand on the day. Pretty cool, between SERV and ATNF. And then I got a little too cocky. VS, which I want to talk about, VS was spiking very quickly. I had this one pre-market. Oh, I should have brought up the pre-market trade too, because I was up earlier. VS made like 1,200. So actually I was up like, I didn't even bring this up. I completely forgot that this was today too. I thought this was like yesterday. There's so many plays I can't even keep track. But I'm up like, 5-6 grand on the morning. And then I'm pushing it a little bit because I saw VS spiking. And you can see here VS was spiking very quickly. This was my pre-market winner, and it basically went from the 1s to the 6s, but then it kind of got toppy here in the 6s. I actually had a pretty excellent exit in the 6s. It couldn't have gotten any better. But I missed this big spike, when it was finally coiling. I specifically said in chat, and I even said, in the watch list, this needs to break 6. There are the low 6s. And I think I even said it. Did I say it in the video? No, maybe I posted the video. No, actually I did say it in the video because I filmed the video this morning too. Trying to keep up, guys. Sorry about that. But I said watch it when it breaks 6. And sure enough, when it broke 6, it went to 9. And it was so damn quick. And I missed the run up. And I stupidly am like, dip buying it. And you really just can't dip buy these things. You got to be on the front side of these squeezes. So when it broke 6, this is all 3 minutes, 6 to 960. Like insane speed. And then you can see here, just not much bounce. And I got a little too aggressive, partially because I thought maybe this could just keep going. But, doesn't matter what you think, you can't get sloppy. And I got a little sloppy here. And that's why I'm in trading timeout right now, because I was really nailing it. And this was, fortunately, I had only a small position because it was just spiking so quick, and I only got, partial fill. I actually wanted 2,000 shares. I'm glad I only got 600 shares because it spiked so quick and then it dropped so quick, and I lost, over $1 a share. So this is a terrible trade. And again, you can't be afraid to lose because, again, you're learning, okay? Like, what if VS had gone to 20? What if it had gone to 10? Then my play wouldn't have been that bad. But sometimes you just miss the front side and you get the back side, and it's not really good. But anyways, now, year to date, very nice, 268. But specifically today, let's see my total number, 5,400. That's pretty cool, okay? That's really good day, half my month in one day. That's the beauty of, even when you're off, you're learning. And, I think that this 45-minute video that I did, I think everyone should watch it. I think you should watch it multiple times because I just went over all the lessons, kind of making up for the fact that I wasn't doing videos the past few days just because I didn't have good enough Wi-Fi and I wasn't focused enough. But the lessons just keep adding up. And all the lessons, whether or not I made much on DRUG, INVO, STC, VS, I really didn't. Like I was basically break even between all of these. So I wasted a lot of opportunity, but then 5 grand today for me, which is really nice. And that's a small example of just studying paying off and me knowing the lessons and then pushing it the next day. I was even surprised on how dead on I was with ATNF. You don't always get markets like this, okay? So some people are like, Tim, you sounded like stuffy on the webinar. You sound sick. You got to take better care of yourself. I would love to. I didn't plan on being in Africa, and I didn't plan on these runners all hours of the day. But that's what the market gives us, and you have a choice whether you want to capitalize or not. I choose to capitalize and learn. You tell me in the comments, will you capitalize? Not just in terms of profits, but will you capitalize in terms of lessons and getting that experience? Okay, I really can't say this enough. It's not about how much you can make as quick as possible. It's can you stack those lessons? Can you get the experience? Jack gave a great challenge webinar last week talking about how he was down like nearly 20 grand after his first nearly 2 years. Most people would quit. You'd be like, oh my God, I invested thousands into Tim's program. I'm down 20 grand. But he didn't just lose 20 grand. He was stacking lessons. He was building his Excel spreadsheets. He was seeing plays. He was sometimes early, sometimes too late, sometimes miss a play. But again, he's learning. And then he put it together. And I love the second part of his webinar where like everything just flipped. So you need to get that light bulb moment. It's not necessarily just one trade. It's oftentimes multiple trades in a process, stringing together successful trades and ideas. So again, leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Congrats to so many of you. VS is now fading. NNE is back up to 21. ATNF is fading. I saw they did some shady warrant deal. VSME. Oh, VSME is spiking a little bit again. DRUG only down 28%. And this still could come back, although I wouldn't bet on it. And PRQR is actually uptrending a little bit too. I mean, we got so many big percent winners. Like, just look at this watch list. Like, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, basically 7, 8, 9, 10 stocks up 75% or more. That doesn't always happen. And it's because of DRUG, and there's so many other plays that want to spike. But I really can't encourage you enough to try to be there pre-market, whether it's 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m. Eastern. DRUG spiked pretty much all day, but ATNF really pre-market run. It had a little bit of a run near the market open, but not much meat on the bone here from 13 up to 17, $4 a share, and it had big volume, but it kind of had like this riptide that would just it was just up too much. And, frankly, it's the pre-market, fear of short sellers, how far it can go. And I'm really glad that I nailed, DRUG early in the 290s, even though I obviously exited too early, but absolutely nailed ATNF in the 7s, selling in the 9s, and then it just spiking all the way. Like, I just want to try to put you into the right viewage, right? Like, having the right perspective, focusing on the right stocks. There's a lot of stocks out there. There's thousands of stocks, and many of you are focusing on the wrong stocks. And I will say, one last point before I go, all of these companies are crap. SERV has a real product. They have NVIDIA and Uber Eats as investors. And just to help you understand what a backwards market this is, like, this thing did spike up from the 8s and hit 950. I got out, here, actually, again, pretty good sell pre-market because it just wasn't doing it. Some people are like, why not give it more time? It has the best news. The best news is the worst catalyst right now, okay? You want these fluff companies, these companies that are going to do financing sometimes same day, because those are the ones that are the most heavily shorted. SERV, they might not have a lot of revenue now, but, they do have NVIDIA and Uber as investors, and now they are rolling out their little robots to Uber Eats next year. Like, I wouldn't want to short this because they actually have a legit product with legit giant customers. And if it goes well, I could see Uber or NVIDIA acquiring this little company, especially Uber, right? If their robots work well, why should Uber pay them? I don't know what the fee is going to be, but they'll probably have to pay a fee for every robot or every delivery. Uber will say, hey, let's just buy them. So if I was a short seller still, I wouldn't short SERV because it has such good potential. That is probably why it didn't spike much despite the good news. They also had good news a few weeks ago with Shake Shack, and I thought it was going to spike big, and it didn't. So in this market, I know it's tough to understand. It's very difficult to understand. Good news does not matter. You want fluff news. You want the worst companies that will do financings into giant run-ups. Those can spike the most. They'll also drop the most. So again, shorts aren't wrong in saying that these companies are overvalued and that they're going to fade. Shorts are wrong for not understanding the risk reward and oftentimes shorting too aggressively and inadvertently creating great squeezes. That is this market. So again, watch this 45-minute video too. This is a shorter video, but the 45-minute video is all about preparation and trying to understand the trends and patterns of the market. This 20-minute video is capitalizing on it. And, $5,000 on the day for me is a very solid day when I'm like, literally, look at this. The Wi-Fi is going on and off, and I'm just not in a great place to trade, great time zone or anything. But I'm making the most of it. Leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Congrats to so many of you. Let's just take it day by day, trade by trade. Don't force it. whatever the market gives us, try to capitalize. Lessons and profits, lessons or profits, or, just lessons too. Everything helps. Every day helps. Keep learning. Cheers. I'll see you in chat. All right, so it is 2 in the morning and I had to do one last video lesson. Not that I want to, but there's this saying in the mob movies, just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. And I literally did the video recap. I was like, cool, $5,000 on the day, watch this other video lesson. Look at this. I keep getting disconnected. My Wi-Fi is going in and out. And it was a really good video lesson if you watched it. I hope you did. And this was, how I ended it. I was like, okay, I'm over trading, got a little too over aggressive on VS. Into trading timeout I go. Right when I finished that video lesson, it was after hours. And as I've been saying, you need to watch these big percent gainers when they get close to the day high. VSME, nice spike from the 120s up to 270. You can see the big volume come in. No real news. Probably just, chat rooms, short squeeze, whatever the case may be. But big volume. Big, big, big volume. And the float is only 1 million shares. So I'm watching it. I think I even commented on it in the last video. And I think it was like around here. Hold on. Let me look. Let me see. I don't even remember what I said. So this might be confusing because there's like a video lesson in a video lesson. But I actually did talk about VSME in the last video. Let's hear what I said. This was just a few minutes before the market closed. VSME. Oh, VSME is spiking a little bit again. DRUG. Oh. So notice that. This was literally like, where was it? What is this? 2 seconds? Come on. Find it. Find it. Find it. Right here. This was legit like 2 or 3 seconds. And I say, oh, let me just replay it just so that you can hear this because this is important. Deal. VSME. Oh, VSME is spiking a little bit again. So that was it. I just said, oh, VSME is spiking a little bit again. The high was 270 and it was at 212. So I really didn't pay that much attention to it. This is right before the market closed. I was impressed that it was spiking, but again, I'm looking for plays near their high. It wasn't near its high, but it did surprise me a little bit. Now, fast forward to what happened. In the literally, let me just zoom in here. Can I zoom in? Ugh, this is what happens when you don't have Wi-Fi. This is as much as I can do it. Anyways, in this minute, right into the close, it spiked, and this was the little spike that I was talking about. I was like, ooh, look at the little volume spike up to 212. And then it came down, and I didn't care about it because, again, the day high was 270. Even the little spike only goes up to like 220, and then it comes down to 2. In the last minute, I don't know whether it was, 3:59 p.m. or 4 p.m., but it spiked in 1 minute from 220, broke 270 really quickly, 450, and actually went all the way to 645 in 1 minute, okay? And this is after hours. This is 4:01 p.m. Eastern. So in 1 minute, it basically tripled from 215 to 645, a perfect triple. Just to give you an idea, this is a short squeeze, okay? No sane person is buying this at 4, 5, 6, let alone 645. It's some short seller or short sellers who were getting squeezed when it took out the day high at 270. And that led me to want to dip buy it. But as I said in chat, I don't want to dip buy it. This is so quick. But I am prepared in case of an opportunity. I've said this in pretty much every video lesson. So this was how I closed the last video. And, it was kind of a buzzkill, getting a little too aggressive, but it was a good, wake-up call. You can't just buy anything. It's very sloppy. And I lost over $1 a share, so I was in trading timeout. One trade later, for the day, now over $7,000, a nice $1,600 profit on VSME. I was not looking forward to this. I was tired as it is. I'm even more tired now. I don't want to do this video lesson. Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. It spiked all the way to 645, and I said, wait for the dip buy, wait for the dip buy, wait for the panic. A lot of people already asked me, how did I nail the bottom? You know, it was right in here. You know, it didn't bounce that much, but from 645 down, I think the low was 240. So I didn't nail the bottom exactly. But again, why am I buying it? Oh, wait a minute. What's my entry? 275. Oh, what's the morning high or the afternoon high? 270. I'm simply using former resistance now as support. And it was all within a few seconds. So I didn't catch the exact bottom. It did go down to like 250, like for like a second. It's moving very fast. But I'm thinking this thing just spiked up from 2 all the way up to 645, and it should theoretically hold 270-ish. So that was my entry. You know, this is the level 2. It's trading right now at 3-ish. I almost bought it at 3, but when it was at 3, because I thought, you know, 270 would hold, like, okay, 3 is good enough. You know, that's a 50% drop in just a few minutes. But when it was at 3, there were big sellers on the ask. Like, I think someone put in like a 50,000 share block or a 60,000 share block. Like, there were big sellers. And I was like, no, I don't want to buy into these big sellers. You know, maybe there'll be a panic. And for one, or I don't even know, maybe 2 or 3 seconds, somebody changed the 50 or 60,000 share sell from 3 down to like 260. They literally, it went from 3 to 260. They were just exiting. So some shorts got screwed, and then some over aggressive longs got screwed. And, you know, there's panic both ways. Like, it's stupid to me that somebody would put in a 60,000 share sell order at 3 and then a second later change it to 260. They're just absolutely panicking. And I tried to get it at 260, but it got eaten up so fast, and I got in at around 275. So that's my story. Like, you know, when I dip buy, I'm not just, hey, I want to buy this stock that is scary and I'm so tired and I really don't need this. You see, like several times throughout this video lesson, my internet went down. But when I see a stock that can spike so fast and is right near support and I think it can bounce, you know, I take it. And that was my trade. The goal is to sell into a bounce in the 3s, just hit the 6s so it can run. Shorts are over aggressive, I think. Cut losses if no bounce. Got 3,500. I wanted 5,000 shares. I got a partial fill, but it was just moving so fast. And then a few minutes later, it did pop up to the 320s. I didn't even care if it was going to go to the 4s. What did it get up to? It got up to, 345. So I left another 20 cents, you know, of bounce, but I didn't care. Remember, I'm exhausted. My internet is going up and down, and I trade better from a freaking hut in Africa than I do any other time. So pretty amazing. You know, wasn't looking to trade, but when the best trades pop up, because I'm prepared, I'll take it. 7K on the day. Fantastic day. Congrats to so many of you. Again, even if you're not banking, I hope that you're learning. There's so many trades every single day. So many plays. Pre-market, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. when most retail brokers open, 8 a.m. when some other retail brokers open, 9:30 a.m. when most people think that the market opens, and I've been accused of trading pre-market, and that's supposedly illegal. There's conspiracy theories that if you buy a stock before 9:30 a.m., like you're part of the Illuminati or have inside information. They just don't realize that they're just unprepared. You can trade anytime your broker will allow you. I'm not in the Illuminati. There's no insider information. Most people just are fully unprepared. Try to trade pre-market, try to trade at the open, try to trade midday, try to trade afternoon, try to trade after hours. There are plays non-stop. Lose a little bit of sleep, lose a little bit of your health, lose a little bit of your muscle mass, gain a little bit of fat, gain a little bit of money, gain a little bit of wisdom. That's the market right now, okay? You can choose whatever you want. I'm just going to throw out idea after idea after idea, play after play after play, lesson after lesson after lesson. You can do with it what you want. Congrats to so many people. I can't even keep my eyes open. I have to go to sleep. Leave a comment. Are you learning? Are you capitalizing? See you in chat.